avoid having your kid on camera just for internet privacy's sake. Yeah.
It's a little tough, but yeah, I'll try to do what I can. Honey, no. I have to do this meeting and then I'll make you some more noodles, okay? Do you want a snack instead?
Yeah.
You want?
What do you have?
Okay, we are live on YouTube and we are recording.
All right. So open the meeting at
6:34 p.m.
6:34. Thank you.
We'll do roll call.
All right. Colby Jensen,
I'm here.
Catherine Hatton,
Here.
Arthur Whitplatt,
Here.
Robin Allen, I'm here, Nick Baker.
Here.
Great. We're all here. We have quorum.
Wonderful, wonderful. We'll start out with open public forum. I encourage our stakeholders to raise their hands so we can call on them and they can have 3 minutes to speak. Here's Jonathan.
Hi, thank you.
Jonathan.
I just wanted to take a moment and say that the meeting that Colby conducted last night, I think that was yesterday, wasn't it, Colby?
That's right.
Okay, yeah, it was a public safety. It was an excellently run meeting. It was so friendly, and yet the subject matter, there were things that needed to be said that weren't always comfortable, but it was so well received. I hope you'll all take a moment to acknowledge that Colby is really good at running a meeting, and meetings should feel like Colby's running them because his personality lends to not personalize things. And I liked it a lot, and I wanted to thank Colby for just being himself. I mean, it was a great meeting, and it made Toluca Lake feel like a community quite separate from LA, and it should feel separate. It's our community, and you did a great job. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Jonathan. I appreciate the encouragement. Very nice of you. Thank you. I see Jack K.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that meeting was trash.
I'm sorry?
I was gonna say that meeting last night I went to it was garbage.
Okay.
Thanks.
I guess Jack is done talking. We'll move on to let's see. Any other stakeholders? Going once, going twice. Tess Taylor. Hi, Tess. Let me bring you up to talking here. Hold on. Hi, Tess.
Great. Thank you. So I thought the meeting went really well last night too, and we had, there's a lot to talk about, and we can, there's a lot that we can do. There's a lot that we are doing, and there's, I think working together, we're going to achieve higher standards. And one of the things you said, Colby, that I nearly had to reach for my hanky was you'd like to see you would like to not see any border demarcation between the districts of our neighborhood council, like when you're driving through Brentwood, Beverly Hills, et cetera. And I know you meant it sincerely, and I thought it was great because that would be wonderful. And as far as Jack K goes, if you thought the meeting wasn't much good, and you're certainly welcome to your opinion, I personally would love to hear how you think we could make it better, because we're here for the stakeholders, and I'm a committee member of public safety, and I take it very seriously. So, and I mean this sincerely and not in the least bit facetiously, I would love to hear your thoughts on what you think could be changed or improved. Thank you.
So Tess, I will note, Jack also showed up to the environmental meeting before this and just wanted to say something negative.
Okay.
And immediately signed off afterward. It wasn't in relation to anything specific.
Okay, well, that's fine. And if there is anything specific, critical of anything or anyone with facts, it's always good to know. But thank you.
And I think he signed right off after he gave us his wonderful opinion. So.
Yes. He appears to be touring Zoom meetings to try to throw a little chaos.
Entertain himself on a Tuesday night.
Yeah. First, wait now. Looking forward to Puppet's return. Let's see.
We've got our own
Okay, let's keep it on the rails, guys. All right. Asking for more stakeholder input. Please raise your hand. Okay, I don't see any. We're going to move on to board member news and announcements. So start with Catherine or anyone else who wants to have something to say.
Am I forgetting an announcement that I'm supposed to have?
I don't know, it's just part of the meeting. If you have an announcement, this is the.
Oh, okay. I
we'll
was like,
move
oh
forward
God,
to-
did I say I needed something?
Oh, okay.
I have no
no.
announcements. Okay.
Okay, we'll move forward to, let's get through the minutes. If no one else has any board member news or announcements. Let's see.
All right, motion A to
Yeah.
approve the GTLNC February 8th, 2022. Sorry about that error. I just fixed it. Executive minutes. Do I have a first?
First.
Sean, Nick, sorry. Do I have a second?
Arthur.
Thank you, Arthur. Any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none,
so.
hearing none. Oh, Jonathan?
Okay, let me get him. Hi, Jonathan.
Hi. I'm unmuted. Okay. Sometimes it gets mixed up if you don't say any more discussion from the public. Otherwise, I think you're just talking to each other. So I don't know. Anyways, when I read the meeting, the draft of the February 8th meeting minutes, I more clearly understood what this ongoing debate is about, having to do with some board members want more details and some want less details. And it seems like this is an example of some minutes that are kind of weird to me. If you look into it, you'll see that there's actually one place where it says Jonathan Gregory made some comments. That would be an example of something that either doesn't belong in the minutes or it's just not getting to the point. Incomplete NPGs, it's not clear to me what you're saying, an incomplete MPG. Meaning I know it's a neighborhood purpose grant, but incomplete means it's not yet finished or it's still being debated or anyways, the minutes have to just be short and concise. They're not supposed to be scripts or anything. There's nothing personal being said about who does them or anything of the nature, but I do understand we don't need big, long minutes, but what is there has to say what points are raised, like what specifically is going on about an MPG or just in the same amount of words, but specific so people can understand. That's part of our hardware for a democracy is to have some notes about what occurs. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, we'll try to be more concise and short with the notes. Thank you. Any other comments from the public?
Okay, we're going to take it to a vote. Catherine? Oh, I see Tess's hand.
Yes, sorry.
Hold on. Tess?
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I just ate something. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate, look, minutes are, it's hard to take good notes sometimes, especially if you're part of the meeting or running the meeting. And this isn't personal because we have these challenges, I think, in many of our committees. But yeah, I think to try to capture detail and accuracy is important. And giving people who look at the minutes later and who don't know the issues, especially stakeholders, enabling them to understand what occurred, I think is super important. And when the comment arises, they can always look at the video. Yes, that is true, but they should also be able to just at a glance understand what was discussed, what was agreed upon or voted on by way of the minutes. And by the way, if anybody ever needs help with minutes, Robin, including you, I'm happy to, pitch in and help. That's it. Thank you.
I wonder if I know it's the secretary's job to do the minutes, but it's a lot. Robin also helps really assist me through all the meetings. It's a lot.
The wording
for
is
any
to
secretary
keep
do. I
or
wonder if there's
cause
some-
to be kept.
I'm sorry, Catherine?
To keep or cause to be kept. So the secretary is not obliged to be the one that actually keeps the minutes. They
Yeah, so I was wondering
simply
if
have to
maybe
make sure
Jake-
there are minutes.
Our youth member or someone else could just sit down on the meetings, kind of on the sidelines and just note what happens. Because Robin's doing a lot. She's really, a co-pilot on this.
But then we have to add it to the meetings from the, I mean, and it's fine. I don't mind taking the minutes. I just, there is that debate between several people as to what is enough and what is too much. And I've heard both sides. And so, and I'm still going by Dunn's rules. So I'm doing what is expected. So, and you know, for the most part, unless there's a real debate, like a real sort of back and forth where you kind of need that information, all of this is on YouTube and anybody can listen to it. So if and when we ever meet in person, maybe we could bring this back up again, because the meeting notes will be much more important, because I don't think we're going to do YouTube when that happens. So, you know, but for now we have an actual video of what is happening at the meetings, and anybody that wants to look at it can. So, all right, thank you. Motion A to
Hold
approve.
on. Tess has one more thing. Hi, Tess.
For what it's worth, I take notes at every meeting that I attend, whether I'm a committee member or not, just for myself, because it helps me to remember. And I'm not, you know, not necessarily the most detailed notes. So I am at your disposal if needed, Robin, Colby, etc. Just putting that out.
Yeah, he did it last night. Thanks for filling in.
Well, maybe what we'll do, Tess, is we'll just refer people to you. Yes.
The minutes lady.
Notes.
Okay, let's take this one offline, but I think it would be nice to have someone.
Motion A to approve the GTLNC February 8th, 2022 executive minutes. Catherine, you said yes. Arthur?
Yes.
Yes.
Robin is a yes. Nick?
Yes.
Colby?
Yes.
So that's 500. Motion carries. Motion B to approve the GTLNC March 15th, 2022. I just fixed that. General Board agenda. Do I have a first?
Catherine,
Catherine, thank you. Do I have a second?
Arthur.
Thank you, Arthur. Discussion on the motion?
Yes, we want to put on a letter, whether or not to vote for a letter. The letter of opposition will be written regarding 10057 Riverside Drive. That's colloquially known as Michael's on Riverside and Red Door, and that whole development. I've been speaking with Michael, the owner, off and on for many months, and he's come on one of our meetings, as you might remember, and he's imploring us to back a letter of opposition to the project, which will, you know, essentially destroy his businesses. And so I guess I've asked him to write the foundation of a letter, then to send it to us, and then for us to tweak it at the next meeting and vote upon that letter of opposition to the project, if, you know, it's something we can all talk about. And I'm just asking that we put that vote on the general board agenda for March 15th.
Okay, so you are requesting that we, once you get the letter from Michael, to add a motion to the general board agenda as a letter of opposition for this Riverside Drive project.
Yes, I'm not saying I'm in favor of the letter of opposition, but I'm just saying I want
It's
to add that.
just
Yeah.
a discussion.
And I'm not saying when I get the letter, I'm just saying, if we can put that on the agenda to vote upon a letter of opposition to the 10057 Riverside Drive project.
What's the address? 1004?
10057 Riverside.
Okay, got it. All right, I will add that.
And that's also going to be taking down the post office. That's the same project, as I'm sure we all know.
Yes. All right, anything else?
I see two hands raised. Anyone from the board? Anything else? Okay, I saw Tess's hand first. Not sure who was first, but I'll go ahead, Tess.
Thanks, Colby. So 10057, that's the Red Door, that's Michael's restaurant, correct?
That's right.
Okay, and so and the letter of opposition is in opposition to the project that includes the TOC, the Transit Oriented Community Designation. Is that also the case?
Yes, that is the same project. I've ask Michael to write the letter since he's the business owner and he's
Okay.
feeling most impacted by this.
Okay. Well, it's certainly going to impact a lot of people. And as you know, on a parallel track, I am trying to get an answer from the post office, from the post office about the future of that location and whether there will be a retail location there or not. And that's, separate but related. I'm in touch with Congressman Sherman's office about that. But yeah, I wanted to clarify whether that includes the TOC designation or not. And I think it does. Thanks.
It does. Thank you.
And I think it's, I also, if I may, I think it's important that we highlight that post office because I know a lot of people do drop shipping and stuff like that, myself included. And that post office is, I mean, I go there every day. And to not have that post office there means I got to drive to North Hollywood, which, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it's like, there's just so many reasons to fight this thing. So I think, it's intelligent to come at it from every angle and throw the post office in there because I think that's a big sticking point for constituents. I know I see lines out the door in that place. I mean, so I think it's important we talk about that.
Good. I'm glad.
Hi, Jonathan, go ahead.
Thanks. Well, when I read the agenda, what I wanted to say about it is that it felt very weak on the number one issue that all stakeholders are thinking about constantly, which is their public safety, well-being, all of that. And then you just said you're adding something. So if this is this one thing you're adding to the agenda, it's not clear to me if you're talking about Michael's or the redevelopment project called Gelson's. All of this language is confusing and now we're using an address. But what I would encourage you to do is make sure time is devoted to talking about what might happen if they're selling beers and easy foods. I'm going back in time and remembering, and I think this is important for us to talk about as a community, that there was a reason they feel comfortable at Vineland, and it had to do with buying their food at McDonald's and the transportation and all that. If you make it comfortable that beer is available, cold beers and stuff, you might get, I don't want to see that stuff spread and I want to see it contract and disappear, but it might end up on that third underpass, which is, what is that, Coanga? And that's even closer to the village area. That's not good for anyone. I know we often make jokes to each other, like, well, you put it into that underpass, but it's not a joke. I know none of us think it's a joke, but the goal is to contract this and make it eventually go away and not normalize. And I think if there starts to be food and cold beers and stuff, we might be laying the seeds of spreading rather than, and just think about it like that. And thank you very much.
Yeah, you're right. You're thinking it could turn into more of a convenience store issue right now.
Exactly.
See, right now they have, they have a full liquor license for both Michael's up front and Red Door out back. But presumably no one's going to go in there and buy a martini and walk out with it. But you're saying now, even though the liquor license they're applying for does not include spirits, as far as I understand it, it's just beer and wine. Your concern is that someone will buy a 6-pack of beer or a malt liquor or something like that, and then
just have
walk out
the
with
board think it all through.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good, it's a good angle. Yeah.
Well, let's also, I mean, there's parking issues that are going to pop up. I mean, there's 100 reasons I can tell you.
Oh, I know there are a lot of. Anyway, so
Can I interrupt?
This
This is not
I
a
know this is not the time to
discussion
talk about
about
this. I just
the
wanna put this
item.
on the
It's
agenda.
about the agenda.
right.
Yeah.
I just want to
Catherine.
move forward. We're moving forward, right, Catherine? This is going to be spoken about a lot next week, and we're going to get our earful, mouthful on this one. So
All right, so we're gonna vote on this motions, motion B, to approve the GTLNC March 15th, 2022 General Board Agenda, and I'm gonna put as amended, because we're gonna add that one item.
Robin, are we also adding anything from outreach when that comes in? I know they're meeting tomorrow.
regarding what-
You know what? She gave me 2 bullet points. Did they not get on the agenda?
Maybe
She gave me 2.
it's not on what I saw, what you sent around, but maybe it's on it already.
Okay, yeah, she reached back to me and gave me 2 bullet points from the prior meeting. So she just added them again. They're the same from the month before.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are 2 bullet points listed on next week's meeting for outreach. I know I had originally written something like to be determined.
Yeah.
Or none were submitted, I think I wrote. But no, she did, the chair did reach back to me and give me 2 bullet points. So they should be there and I will check. Okay, so Catherine,
Yes.
on the motion, yes or no?
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes.
Arthur,
Yes.
great. And I'm a yes, Robin and Nick
Yes.
and Colby.
Yes,
Great, motion carries 5-0-0.
thanks, Robin.
To Arthur. Arthur, would you like me to read the motion?
Yes, please.
All right. Motion C, to approve the February 2022 MER and expenditures for reconciliation submission to the city clerk. Do I have a first?
Colby,
Colby, thank you. And I'll be the second. Robin, go ahead, Arthur.
Okay, we had finished January with $26,116. We had $125 in operating expenses, $96 for Google G Suite services, and then $28.99 for MailChimp. We had $3,392 relating to Apple One, which is our media coordinator. That includes 4 invoices covering 4 different months. So this is just a catch up from previous months. These invoices are for $756.63, $875, $750, and then $1,010.43. We had ended the month, February, with $22,599. Do you have any questions or comments?
Colby,
I have a question. Okay, I see Jonathan has a quick question, Arthur. Then we'll get to Jonathan. And Robin, what'd you say?
yeah, I was going to ask you if you found out about those 2 MER prior months.
So those have been uploaded and the flags have been removed from those MERS. So
Great,
it has been resolved.
great, fabulous.
And then Arthur, I've always had trouble. I've never been able to sign into Apple One's account to approve the time cards. And we might have talked about this before, but do you have the password? We'll share this offline, but the password for that, or what I'm having them do now, if they just send me a screenshot of the account.
Yeah, I can share you. I keep on forgetting their password as well, and I always end up resetting it every single month.
Okay, that's what I'm having.
But I wrote it down this time, so I can share that with you.
Okay, great. I'll just sign in and approve the time cards rather than.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. And I see if any other, I see Jonathan has his hand raised. Arthur, if you want to call upon him, or I can.
Sure, Jonathan.
Yeah, Arthur, 2 questions. I don't know if it was just said, I didn't understand the language, but the first question is the website vendor paid now and that's functioning? Is that what you just said? And my second question, and then I'll be quiet and let you talk, is when I read the rules having to do with neighborhood purpose grants, there is a regulation having to do with, there are 2 regulations that I call to your attention. One is when you do a neighborhood purpose grant, the completion of the project itself has not time limits, but there's a spirit that it's supposed to be done within a near proximity of the NPR, of the neighborhood purpose grant. So it's number 1 is the duration of these grants matters, meaning that they complete these things on some schedule. And we have some that are staying open for a long time, and it confuses me, like the clock, when is that getting installed and stuff, because there are no updates that are occurring in the meetings. The other thing is when I read the regulations on MPGs, there is a regulation in there that is really poorly written, but the spirit of the regulation is that MPG should not, it looks like the city doesn't like them being on the budget lines, and we have those 2 schools out in the future as a budget line. And if you look at the rule, it can be interpreted in several ways because it is written so poorly that something as a budget line can't be approved as an MPG grant. If you go back and take a look at it, I have a feeling you shouldn't have budget lines. And we talked about this 8 months ago when I saw these out in the future for the 2 schools. So I recommend that you take a look at that, and I don't know why they're there, to tell you the truth, because it seems like the rules from the city are encouraging the neighborhood councils not to put budget lines for MPGs. Thank you.
Okay, so what I was talking about was Apple One invoices for Lisa, who helps with some of the marketing. And I did not mention anything about TYS. When I spoke to Colby earlier, it sounds like the TYS issue is approaching the finish line, and that I don't want to put words in your mouth, Colby, but
I spoke with
TYS thinks that everything is all lined up.
Well, actually, I spoke with TYS today, and they submitted. So I'm sorry, taking it off, go in a different direction. I just want to answer this right now. I spoke with Tin today, and Tin. Last I heard from Tin 2 weeks ago, the city was requesting their TYS's tax registration certificate. Tin didn't have it, but he had a receipt that he was told by the city is the same as his certificate. He submitted that, and none of us have heard anything. So I called TYS today, and he confirmed confirmed that he did send everything in, and so I've contacted the city, and I'm again waiting for them to write the check. And this is the problem we had 9 months ago. The check was written but never sent. So unfortunately, TYS has done with everything they can, and I just don't understand what the holdup is. So go ahead, Arthur.
And then regarding the NPGs, so Jonathan, you're correct that the dates in the NPG are important. And the people that apply for, or the organizations that apply for the NPG, have to indicate that the NPG is for a project within our fiscal year. So, and that is, something that the city does look at on these applications. For the budget item, I would have to go back and look at the language. My recollection is, and this could be completely wrong, so I'll probably have to read it, is that, we can't use an NPG approved in our overall budget for as evidence of the board voting for that NPG. We actually have to have a separate vote for the NPGs. So I can go back and look at that language on the budget. And I guess regarding the NPGs that are, I guess, quote unquote, ongoing projects, probably, and I don't know if Colby, you might be able to chime in here. Just I think, probably providing, ongoing updates on where, I guess, the clock is and so forth.
The clock, so I've talked to Ryan Altoon about the clock, and he assures me that that's moving. I don't really understand the nuances of streetscape and all these things. But Ryan Altoon has told me that it's moving forward through the processes, and I don't understand how that works, to be honest with you. That's really is a specialty, and Ryan, I guess, knows those steps, and I don't understand it, to be honest with you. Regarding the NPGs, we have 2, when I say incomplete NPGs, ones that have kicked back to the applicants. One was the Discovery Shop, which was missing a signature, and I think a completion date, like you were saying, Jonathan, I need completion dates. And also Rio Vistas was missing a signature and more detail regarding the bunches they wanted. And I've kicked those back to the applicants, and I'm waiting for them to resubmit. It should be a 2-minute situation. And I follow up with them and leave phone calls and messages. And in fact, I go into the Discovery Shop frequently, and I speak with Michelle, who's a manager of the Discovery Shop, and she just says she's waiting for the Cancer Society executives who are above her to fulfill that paperwork. So it's the classic bureaucratic red tape. Jonathan, you there?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, is that, okay. Any other questions, Jonathan? Regarding this?
Not for me. Thank you.
You're kind of breaking up a little bit. I can't hear you very well. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Arthur.
Okay, so I guess we'll go to a vote.
Okay, I'll do the roll call. Motion C to approve the February 2022 MER and expenditures for reconciliation submission to the city clerk. Catherine,
Yes.
Arthur,
Yes.
Robin is a yes. Nick,
Yes.
great. Colby,
Yes.
great. Motion carries 5-0-0. Okay.
Thanks, Arthur. Ongoing business. We have back to NPGs and my NPG. I'm a broken record. If people nowadays don't even know what a record is. I can't say skipping CD because they don't know what those are either. But in the old days, things used to spin around with a needle or a laser, and you hear the same thing over and over again. Please, I want your NPGs. We have a deadline coming up, a soft deadline of May 31st. I need some cushion, to get this approved by you guys and the city, all of bureaucratic stuff we have to get through, which it seems to be getting harder and harder. Community goals. Please bring me your community goals. Tess mentioned, last night at a meeting, of course, that her goal was to make a community safer, which is, of course, we all want that. I like really specific goals, obtainable goals. Something like, even if there's a dangerous intersection or something that is escaping my attention, please bring that to me. I like the more specific and smaller, the better. Baby steps. Please bring me those, and reach out to your friends and neighbors for theirs also. Anyone else have anything else to say in this part right here? Ongoing business. All right, we'll go into new business. Let's see, we already covered the letter of opposition at Riverside Drive. Bring me your centennial ideas. It's not like we have a lot of problems. However, we have our centennial of Toluca Lake coming up, 2023. I think HOA is doing something. I think other groups are doing something, and we're getting out of COVID. Hopefully, it'd be really nice to come back and have some nice, beautiful event to celebrate our beautiful village and community. So bring me your ideas. Hi, Tess. Oh, I thought you raised your hand. And let's see, any other new business, please raise your hand.
Colby, the letter from Sean about the healthy streets. Are we
Yes,
gonna?
we're gonna bring that up through committee, yeah.
Okay, but we're gonna just put it in committee. Does that need to be a bullet? I think it is a bullet point already on the general board. I just want to mention.
I don't know if it is. I was gonna mention that, but we have to bring that through. Sean distributed the information, I believe this evening, I say Sean's right here. Sean, you want to say something? Are you there? Last night we had, Sean brought a presenter on our public safety committee. Here he is. And regarding safe streets and other issues with transportation in the city. Let's see. Hi, Sean.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me. Yeah, he came on last night. His name is Michael Schneider. You can certainly have him again. But we have what he needs. It's kind of almost like a CIS. It's just an action saying that we support the idea of the part of the mobility plan 2035. I did send it to all the committee members about a little bit about the website, a couple website, and his letter of action where he is asking all the neighborhood councils to get on board. I think he already has 8 neighborhood councils locally that have signed off on this mobility plan. And I'd be more than willing to, Robin, I did send it to you because you're a committee member. So you could absolutely distribute it accordingly. But that's really the long and short of it. It's just the idea of giving the opportunity to, if the streets get repaved or restriped, they can have an opportunity to, make it so that everything can kind of work harmoniously. And that's all modes of transportation: car, bus, bicycle, pedestrian. The idea is to just make it so that the streets are friendlier for everybody. That's
So
all. Thank you.
do we need to put a motion on, I guess that would be public
The
safety?
following month though, because, well, Catherine, can you,
Yeah, that's true.
you're very good. Yeah, I think it'd be following, but Catherine, can you clarify? It's 100% true that, right, that we have to bring it up through committee and vote on
Oh,
it. Let's say we want to
that
approve
is a
this letter.
tradition. That's not a rule.
Okay, I wasn't sure. That's okay. I wasn't sure. I didn't think it was a hard fast rule. I wasn't sure. So last night in public safety, we had this gentleman come on. Michael came on, and as Sean said, he made a presentation. I didn't vote on. I didn't have it on the agenda last night to vote on because I was kind of thinking we could skip through that and just vote on it once as a board. And you're saying that's okay, rule wise? I guess so. Okay. Robin, let's put that, let's just do that. It'll save time and streamline things if we put this on our next general board meeting.
So we need to have a motion
Yeah, is that?
under public safety?
For
Yeah, so
general
the
board
motion would be something like to approve of letter of action requesting XYZ.
And Sean, the letter is included in the packet, right?
Correct. Yes, it's everyone. Yeah, it's absolutely. It's actually it's a separate document that I put. So it's not in
Right.
the links, but it's an actual document that's an attachment that I sent.
Yeah, it's a PDF in there. Why don't,
So would I say to approve letter of action for support of
yes,
Healthy Street
Healthy Street.
letter or initiative?
Is it?
I would say it's closer to the initiative, the initiative that was attached. So you might want, we should probably take a look at that letter just briefly, but it would be for the motion of support for the proposed letter that Michael had sent.
Right. And we could adjust the letter. We could make it as amended. So when we vote on this at the, now I guess we can vote on the general board meeting. We can make some adjustments to the letter and vote on it as amended.
Okay.
Now, do we need to go back? If we're doing this for the next agenda, we need to revote on the agenda? I think we do, right, Catherine?
No, the agenda already says as amended with the assumption that if there are things that get sent in, they get sent in and added.
For this, say, Healthy Streets? Okay. So we don't need to change that. Let me see.
No, because we are going to change some things anyway. And I am
Yeah, we
going to
always change things.
general board agenda around for everyone to approve soon, so.
Yeah, it just says help, but there's no vote on the agenda.
No. You mean on the general board? What?
I'm talking about the general board. Because we're
No.
just gonna go ahead and vote this on the general board.
Yeah, we will add this motion that Catherine just helped me write to the general board agenda under public safety. So at that moment, Sean will speak on behalf of that motion. And then we will go ahead and vote on whether we support this initiative to go forward in letter of support for this initiative. Whether
I would
the
like to-
neighborhood council wants to support it.
And I would also like to, if that's the case, if we're going to have it at the general board, I'd like to bring Michael on because he's much more articulate. And I want to make sure that we're putting all the right information forward so that everyone has a clear understanding, if that's okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, good. Well, this streamlines the process. Okay, great. So Robin and Catherine, you're saying we're fine as is with this March 15th agenda to vote on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, great. We'll move forward. Thank you. Where were we? We were at, yes, Centennial Ideas. Any other new business? Oh, I see. Hold on. Jonathan has his hand raised. Hi, Jonathan.
I on that agenda for the 15th, did you intend to vote on the $750 for Pages Committee?
Let me look.
It's hard for me to look, but I just looked and I didn't see anything. But the question is, was that the plan? 'Cause I
Yeah,
didn't see it on
so
there.
Jonathan, those are the outreach agenda items that Robin mentioned that Paige had sent to her separately, that hadn't been added at the time that this was published. but they've now been added. Those are the
Thank
two
you.
outreach agenda
Okay.
items.
All right, thank you. I didn't understand that.
Oh, Robin, you're muted, I think.
Was there a motion that outreach was going to present? Because that is not, I don't have any information on that to add to the general board. She gave me two, here, I'm gonna look it up.
Okay, then, well, the outreach committee is meeting tomorrow. So if those motions
Right.
pass, I guess she'll send it to you
Right.
then.
That'd be perfect, because I'm gonna clean up the general board agenda to be distributed. I have to get it to be posted on Wednesday night after I get everybody's, final notes. So, but she had given me two items to add even before her meeting. So if you guys, are you on that committee, Catherine?
Yes, I am.
Then you just let me know and I will add the motion just like I'm adding Sean's motion.
And Robin, can you make a note to distribute the Healthy Streets, Sean's
Yep,
package
I will
to
send
all the
that.
board members? Thank you. All right, any other new business from anybody? Okay, any more comments from the public? No? Okay, well, I'll close the meeting.
What time?
It's 7:15 p.m.
15.
And our next exec board meeting is April 12th, 2022 at 6:30. And I'll see everybody next on March 15th for our general board meeting. Might be a
Wonderful.
little long, so plan accordingly.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.